You know, a lot of it's ready to go. It's just there's a whole table full of things that are almost ready to go. Every single little piece needs a little bit of individual attention. The theory of thought is that if the most difficult things that I have are at the end, but that's all I have left to do, then I have more willpower, as opposed to if I do the most difficult things first and then I finish those, I may peter out and not have enough energy to finish the more mundane, simpler tasks, which could be the opposite for what you would do, but that's what I'm doing. So let's get to work. Hi. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Laura. If you're new here, I don't know if you're gonna like this video, but a few months ago, I put out a video that was called My Portfolio is a Mess. And in that video, I exhumed all of the artwork that I've made over almost my entire career. If you've already seen that video, then this is the next chapter. You're just picking up right where we left off. But if you haven't seen that video, like I said, you might want to watch that one before you watch this one. But if not, I mean, maybe you watch this one and then you think, I don't need to, it's all fine. You're an adult. I'm guessing you're going to be fine. If you're not an adult, I'm going to stop. Okay. So it is now time for me to get my artwork ready to be installed in the exhibition. So the last video, I pulled everything out, I photographed it, I made that video for you, and I posted it on YouTube. So it's open to the public to see, but I also showed the curator, and I was like not sure how he was gonna take it because it's very candid. He told me he thought it was very humorous, and so that was a good sign. But I have to say, working with this curator and this art center has been an artist's dream. For somebody that, you know, my living is not from being an artist. I have a day job where I have a 9-to-5, where I, you know, have benefits and I work for the man and I install other people's artwork. To be able to be treated like an artist and respected in this way is kind of, I don't know how to, it's just really, really nice. You know, they're not expecting me to make a whole new body of work. They're not expecting me to jump through hoops. Everything from the conception of this exhibition until now, and probably through the exhibition install and deinstall, they just have been so accommodating and understanding of the rest of my life situations. And so, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the show, but also now it's like crunch time. And I'm glad I'm not making any new work, but I also am like, oh, I have to like drag everything else out again and really look at all the flaws and look at the tarnish in the pieces and look at all the, like, does anything need to be polished? I know that there's a couple of jump rings that need to be tightened up. And so that's what I'm going to do today and all next weekend, is just get everything ready. And so I had started this series by, you know, pulling out the portfolio of everything with you. And so now I'm like, I gotta continue the series and show you what it takes to then actually follow through with the preparation of the artwork. I mean, I'm doing that thing again where I procrastinate because I don't actually want to get started, because I don't want to actually confront the problem, which is that I might have a lot of work to do. There's a couple of pieces that I put on the form. They need conservation, which who's going to do the conservation of my own work? It's me. It's me. So I just got to see how much work needs to be done, and then I got to do it. But then I'll feel good once everything is all installed. It'll feel really good. But this will be the biggest show that I've ever had in my life. So that is kind of a big deal to me. I'm trying to not let it go to my head. I'm just kidding. Like I'm in awe that this is actually happening. So it's like, let's get to work. But I figured before I get started, I'll give you an idea of some of the stuff that I'm about to embark on. So this is what the table looks like with it all laid out, all of the pieces of artwork that I'm going to be bringing and installing in this show. And so now these pieces are the pieces that need conservation because they're broken. And I think that instead of starting on the broken pieces, we've known that these, pretty much were broken. And so I think that the idea is I'll get everything else up to snuff, polished up to its nth degree, all ready to go. And then if there's time, I'll work on fixing the broken pieces that need fixing. All of these pieces just need to come out of the bags. This piece is also one of the pieces that needs conservation. It's not broken, but somebody wore it and they perspired a little bit. And so then the steel, like this chain is just made out of steel binding wire from the fencing department at the hardware store. And so it just rusted. And so there's this like little tiny ghost of a layer of rust in there. And so I have to figure out, I don't really have time to remake it, but is there a way that I can like get some oil on this and maybe take the rust down? This piece is ready, pretty much these pieces are ready to go. Like this is probably pretty much ready to go, but I might just polish it with a little polishing cloth. A lot of these, like these are pretty much ready to go. This needs to be polished, but then it's ready to go. A lot of it's ready to go. It's just there's a whole table full of things that are almost ready to go. Every single little piece needs a little bit of individual attention to just make sure that they're not dusty and that they have, they're not tarnished. These are pretty much all ready to go, except for, we've got the dragonfly, the cat, the bird. I only have stands for this. This is the spider, and then the dragonfly uses 2, and then this is for the cat. And so for these pieces, I've never actually shown all 4 Mechanimals together. I got to make another mount like this for the bird. But I would say on a whole, we're in a good spot, I'm going to stop working on this process of preparing the artwork for the show because I still have to get some images, because part of the exhibition is going to be these 3 large prints of images that frankly I have to get right now. So that's kind of a higher priority and going to take up more of my brain bandwidth than doing the rest of these pieces and packing them. And I've got a list. There's some things I need to do, like, you know, I have to print out pictures. It's all coming together. It's all coming together. So I feel better than I did before, but I still feel like, I don't want to do this. It'll be worth it. It'll be great in the end. I'm gonna stop what I'm doing right now and do something else that's related. But okay, that's all for now. I'll check in with you when I check back in down here to keep working. So, but otherwise, I'll see you later. Okay, I love you. Bye. Mwah. Hi. Hello. Oh, hi. Is it better if I'm backlit? Oh dear. Okay, so I have perfected the system. That's not really, and it's not really a technique either, but it's like, yeah, it's kind of the system. It's, you know, I've got the flat coroplast, I've got a piece of ethofoam on it, I've got the ethofoam taped on all 4 edges to the coroplast. This is what it looks like. I'm just gonna do all of these and then I'll see what the next round looks like, because it's pretty overwhelming. I mean, it's like 31 pieces of artwork. You know, a lot of them can just be tied to the boards and it's put in a plastic bag and ready to go. But some of them do need futzing with. So I'm leaving that until the end. I kind of want to stop for the day. I know it doesn't seem like I've done a lot, but I have. But the more that I do today, the less I'll have to do tomorrow. So I'm gonna try and push through for a while.
Now give me the beat.
Okay, I only got 3 done, and it's 5 o'clock. So I don't want to work on it anymore. But I'm gonna put my pajamas on. So I'm just like kind of signing out to say I got some done. I'm gonna do some more, but I'm not gonna film myself in my pajamas because that's where I draw the line. All right, so this is what I've done so far. And there's a pile of finished ones over behind them. But if anything exciting happens, I'll check in with you. But if not, I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day. And nothing really exciting happened besides I finished packing up most of the necklaces. And so now I'm just gonna finish packing up the rest of the necklaces. And, you know, there's brooches that I'm gonna wrap in ethafoam and put in a plastic bag. And I'm pretty much leaving the most difficult things for the end because I guess the theory of thought is that if the most difficult things that I have are at the end, but that's all I have left to do, then I have almost like more willpower as opposed to if I do the most difficult things first and then I finish those, I may peter out and not have enough energy to finish the more mundane, simpler tasks. Which could be the opposite for what you would do, but that's what I'm doing, so let's get to work. So at the end, I ended up getting pretty frantic. And so I stopped being able to kind of have a conversation with the camera because I was just in crunch mode. And so the last couple of things that I did finish, I didn't kind of give you an update on it. So here's what happened. So this cranky brooch here was very scratched. This is actually an aluminum sheet that is the kind of like backbone of this brooch. And so it has just gotten scratched over the years. And I took the pulley system off of it and then removed all of the Phillips head screws. And then with some, pretty fine sandpaper, like it's probably, I'm gonna guess like 400 grit. I just went in and sanded it. It was already a brushed finish, so I just went back in and redid the brush finish with the sandpaper and kind of obscured some of the other rogue scratches that had gotten on the piece. Then I went ahead and put all of the screws back in and reattached the pulley assembly, and it was ready to go. For that one necklace that had the pearls embedded in the chain that I made from the steel binding wire, I ended up just taking the chain off of the necklace and then putting it in a jar lid and putting olive oil on it. Because, I kind of want something that is, safe if somebody was ever going to wear this again. I don't want to have motor oil on it or like drilling oil. So I just put it in some olive oil, and the olive oil didn't affect the pearls, but it, took care of the rust. It was nice and oily. Also, the making of the stand for one of the mechanical marionettes, I just bent up the same gauge brass wire, and then I have some steel. This is actually TIG welding steel rod, and I just solder the brass to the steel. And I actually haven't soldered anything in a while, like maybe a year. So it felt really good to remind myself that that was a skill that I have that I'm pretty good at. But each piece is now
assigned to a handling tray board that's covered in ethafoam, and it has appropriate ties. And then there's also the picture included in each little package so that the person who deinstalls the work can also pack it up and get it ready for me to just pick it up. And that's a luxury that I'm really, really appreciative to have. So just in reflection, this whole process of getting ready was stressful but exciting, because I do feel like this is kind of what I went to school for, was, you know, to make art, to make metal things, but also to exhibit in shows. And so it felt good to be exhibiting in a show. And so in the next episode of this series, I'm going to take you along as I drive to the art center and then set up the show with the curator and just see how it all goes down and see what it looks like when the show is installed. And I'm really excited that you have been invested to keep on watching the series and see what it's like to exhibit your work in an exhibition and set up the exhibition. And so, as always, thanks for tuning in and sticking it out and being interested in what I'm making and what I'm passionate about. And it really gives me an unbelievable amount of self-confidence and a sense of purpose in my life to be able to make these videos and share these events in my life with you and to share these experiences, because if not, I just don't know, I would be lost. And so thanks so much for coming into the basement studio with me and keeping me company while I'm, you know, putting in the hours. And yeah, just thanks so much. And thank you so much to my loving Ironclad crew on Patreon who support me through and through. They're always there for me, giving me advice and you know, proofing all these videos before they go live for the public. So just like my last kind of proofing committee that makes sure that everything is the highest quality up to their standards, because that's definitely where mine are. And so everybody over on Patreon, thank you so much, and I love you. Yeah, that's it for this episode, but stay tuned for when I go to set up the exhibition, and because I'm excited to share that with you as well. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Okay, bye. Oh, I love you. Mwah.
You weren't recording that whole time? Okay, anyways, where was I? Just to recap, I got new lights and they light up.
And then, what? And then, where did I start? And then, in a complete act of desperation. Oh my goodness. What is my life right now? I'd like to dedicate this song to my Ironclad crew on Patreon.